Good morning. This is The Spotlight. I'm Kevin Perry, your host for the show, and welcome to another exciting edition of The Spotlight, where we turn the spotlight on the arts here in St. Lucie County. For all of our viewing audience, we want to thank you for joining us for this entire season, and we want you to make sure that you go to our school's websites to see the fantastic opportunities in music, art, dance, and drama that are happening during the month of May. There are a plethora of concerts that are going on, and we want you to make sure that you come out and support the fantastic work that's going on by all of our wonderful students and our awesome teachers as well. But today, we're turning the spotlight on the St. Lucie Public Schools Summer Musical Theater Project. That project is 19 years old, and it's directed for all 19 years by the fabulous drama director, theater instructor at Port St. Lucie High School, Mr. Patrick Madden, who joins us again for the show. Mr. Madden, welcome to the show.
Mr. Perry, nice to see you. You forgot to tell the audience that you were instrumental in co-founding the summer program as well.
Okay, we did it together.
That's right.
We did it together.
That's right.
In 19 years, we're still working together.
That's right.
And still enjoy working together.
That's true.
Mr. Madden, thank you again for coming on to tell our viewing audience about the Summer Musical Theater Project, but also to tell our audience about the wonderful work that theater students are doing at Port St. Lucie High School and across the district. But before that, just in case there's somebody that does not know who Patrick Madden is, just give us a brief bio.
Well, I'm Patrick Madden. I'm the drama director at Port St. Lucie High School. I am finishing my 26th year of teaching, which is hard to believe, but it's true. And 19 years ago, you and I and Sandy Aker got together and came up with an idea where we could have a summer musical including all the kids from St. Lucie County, kids 8 to 18. And that program has flourished. And the first year, the school board loaned us the money to do the show. And after that, we paid it back. And ever since, we've been self-supporting. And it's like I tell the kids' parents, it's like arts summer camp for free.
Right.
Which it is.
Tell us about, specifically, not the Summer Musical Theater Project, but tell us what's happening in the drama world at Port St. Lucie High School.
Well, at Port St. Lucie High School, we completed Hello, Dolly. We have a pretty cyclical season that we do. As you know, all the seniors in the program, they have season tickets to the Kravis Center. So we saw all the shows at the Kravis Center ending last weekend with Pippin. And we also do a big production, which Hello, Dolly was our production this year. We take a week-long trip to New York City, and we see 10 Broadway shows in a week. And that's an unbelievable opportunity for the students. And culminating with our big summer extravaganza, this year we're doing Seussical the musical.
Tell us, you took your students, how many students did you take to New York first this
There was 38 of us total,
38.
So the biggest group ever.
And with that, you saw 10 shows.
We did.
Just in case there's some of us that may be traveling to the city, to New York City this summer, and
Right.
want to take in some shows, what would be your recommendations for us?
Probably most of my recommendations have closed.
Really?
Yeah, we saw a really good show with Tony Danza called Honeymoon in Vegas, which closed. It's always interesting to me when you go to see shows on Broadway, because when I book the shows for the kids, we book them a year in advance. And I remember when we submitted the trip to the school board one year, and they said, "Why are you submitting this a year in advance?" Because to get the good tickets, you have to order them a year in advance. And sometimes we've gotten really lucky. We've seen The Lion King with the original cast a week after it opened. We've seen The Book of Mormon. We've seen Hairspray, the producers, with Broderick and Lane. And sometimes we've seen shows on the day they close.
Wow.
That run a week.
Wow.
So you never know.
Well,
You never
because
know.
most of your recommendations have closed, what's still out there that you enjoy, that you've seen that, you know, we should go see?
I would say my go-to show when people ask me is probably Matilda. That's a great show for the entire family. Kinky Boots, which I think you've seen and still running and going strong, and starring Tony winner Billy Porter, who's still in the show 2 years later. Those are shows that you could get at a discount when you go. Shows coming up right now that are opening, American in Paris just opened. That's a big hit. A revival of The King and I coming up in the fall. And we're going to see this on next year's New York trip. Misery, remember the movie Misery with Kathy Bates and James Caan? They're doing a stage play of it with Bruce Willis.
I've never seen Wicked.
You've never seen Wicked?
Never seen Wicked.
Yes, I would definitely recommend Wicked. That's another good one for the entire family. And we're also, this year, we're going to see Jennifer Hudson in The Color Purple.
Really?
That's a big one coming at Christmas time.
Okay, cool. Tell me this. Why do you think participating in the arts, specifically drama, if you would, is important for students and student success?
It makes a well-rounded student. The thing that I know, and I would equate this with band, drama, dance, or even any sport, having a schedule and going to practice after school and coordinating that or with a job and with your homework, it makes a better rounded student. I remember, and I don't know that I should say this, but I'm going to say it. At Ohio University, when I started, one of my professors said, give me a student with a high B average that has a job, participates in many things, rather than someone who only ever cracks a book and they get to college and then they don't know time management. And if you look at specifically the kids from Port St. Lucie High School in the top 10 and the top 20, almost all of them are in my program.
Wow.
And more so this year than ever.
Wow. Tell me this, Mr. Madden, how many musicals have you directed?
This is either 57 or 58 at the school.
At the school.
Yes.
Tell me this, including your time on stage as well.
Right.
What's your favorite musical and why?
My favorite musical that we've done at the high school, and I think maybe I've said this to you before, but it was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. But some that really stick in my mind through the years, 1776, which we did, we had a cast of 24 gentlemen and one lady in the cast. So 24 girls, or 24 boys and one girl. And that was a real struggle because that was toward the beginning of the program. And, you know, it's always harder in the arts to get boys involved than girls. There's always a plethora of girls. But we've been really lucky. And people say that to me a lot, too. They'll say, how do you get so many kids involved in such a well-rounded crew? And I said, because when I started the program way back, I picked Grease to do as my first musical.
Was Grease the first one?
Actually was the female version of The Odd Couple was the first play.
Okay.
And Grease was the first musical. And I went to the football coach at the time. John Carty had just taken over. And I said, John, I really need you to try to help me get some male participation. Because literally I had 2 or 3 kids in my program. That's why I picked to do the female version of The Odd Couple rather than the traditional version of The Odd Couple. And the quarterback for the football team, Raul Del Rosario, that's a name from the past at Port St. Lucie High School, starred as Danny in Grease. And ever since then, we've never had any trouble having guys try out for the show.
Well, what was your second musical?
Guys and Dolls. Which one are you remembering?
What was your third musical?
Little Shop of Horrors.
That was the first one that I remember. I
And
actually thought that was the first one.
No, it wasn't. Little Shop of Horrors, it had just closed off Broadway. And now if you do Little Shop, you can rent the plant from many sources. But at that time, we rented the plant from the people that had done
And
it
that's
off
why I
Broadway.
remember
And they
that
brought
plant
it in
stays
on a
right.
Mack truck. And we could barely fit it on the auditorium stage.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of press about that plant.
Wow. Okay, okay. You have a lot of students that have also studied and participated in drama after they've graduated from high school. A lot of those students have attended AMDA.
Yes.
Tell us what AMDA is and about AMDA.
AMDA is the American Musical and Dramatic Arts Academy. It is, you do not graduate from AMDA with a college degree. However, you can use those 2 years at AMDA and go on to college in New York and finish your degree if that's your choice. But this is for people that they know they love the arts, this is what they want to do, and they take comprehensive classes in dancing, the business of entertainment, the resume, getting an agent, you know, a lot of things that the high school kids have no idea about. And they go and they're just immersed in the world of theater in New York City. And so many of our kids really that have gone to AMDA, I've noticed that they work full-time at Disney.
Okay, Summer Musical is coming up.
Yes.
It's Seussical the Musical. Briefly before we bring in our other guests, tell us just a little bit about what Seussical the Musical is.
It's another one of my all-time favorite shows. We did it as a summer show 10 years ago. And people said, well, why are you doing it again? And because I think I can do it better. And I think that it's a show that has a lot of big parts for the younger kids too. And everybody is in this show, the bulk of the show. The crazy thing is there's Who's and the Grinch and the makeup and the costumes in the show. I'm sure when we talk to the other kids, they'll tell you it's a crazy logistical nightmare to try to get all of these people to look like Dr. Seuss characters. But come June 17th when we open, don't worry, it will be taken care of.
So for our viewing audience, Seussical the Musical, of course, is based on all of the works of Dr. Seuss. Now, Mr. Madden, before we bring in our guests, I know there's some people that's running out to get tickets right now. Tell us those locations.
Okay. And remember, this is a show for the entire family. It's not just a little kid show. It's the full Broadway musical production. It's not a junior production like a lot of schools now, which is great. A lot of the elementary, middle schools, they do.
To introduce kids to theater,
right.
Yes.
And they'll do an act of the show. This is the entire Seussical production. Tickets are $15, and they're available at Jay's Jewelry in St. Lucie West, Honey Baked Ham in Stuart, the Port St. Lucie High School office. Although those hours are limited because we'll be on the summer schedule. Perkins, the Tin Fish Restaurant on Port St. Lucie Boulevard, and Joy's Ice Cream in Fort Pierce. And they also have a new location right across the street from Treasure Coast High School.
And tell us the show dates again.
June 17th through the 21st for 7 big shows, 2 matinees, and you're going to love it. And I can't wait for you to meet the kids.
Oh, thank you. That's Seussical the Musical, the Summer Musical Theater Project for St. Lucie Public Schools. We'll be back with our special guests, the fantastic students that star in this production of Seussical the Musical.
There once was a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all that she had. And oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. She curled it, she tied it, she gave it a puff. She decked it with flowers, but it wasn't enough. For no matter what, it just was what it was. A tail that simply wasn't meant to catch the eye of an elephant. The one feathered tail of Miss Gertrude McFuzz.
And welcome back. Kira just sang a fantastic song from Seussical the Musical, and we hope that's enough to entice you to go out to see this fantastic show. And joining us, speaking of Kira Anderson, the star of the show, and Enzo Everett. Guys, welcome back to the show. It's a pleasure to have you both with us today. Now, Kira, Enzo, I know you've been here before, but just in case, like I started with Mr. Madden, just in case some of our viewing audience don't know you and your bio, just tell us a little bit about you and what grade you're in, that kind of thing in school. Kira, we'll start with you.
Okay, I'm a senior at Port St. Lucie High School. I've been in the drama department since I was about 10 years old. And this is
You went to high school at 10?
I've been doing the summer shows with Mr. Madden since I was 10 years old and doing the shows in high school ever since. So.
Okay. Enzo?
My name is Enzo Everett. I'm a senior too. This is my 7th show. I've only done Mr. Madden shows since I was in high school for the past 4 years.
Okay. Good. Okay. Now, since 10 years old, 4 years, we all know Mr. Madden and we love him, but we know what it's like to put on a Madden production on stage. Tell us about that and why you continue to come back. Yeah, we're picking on you.
That's
Should I
okay.
start?
Yeah, I can start. Well, I played football when I was in my freshman year. Well, I played for 4 or 5 years, but I was always on like a scheduled routine type of thing. So I remember when I first tried out for the first summer musical that I was in, Hairspray, I would go right from practice right to rehearsals, and it's the same type of schedule every night, 6 to 9, 3 hours. I mean, it's very regimented, and then it just builds. First it's 3 hours, and it's like 2 or 3 times a week. Then it's 4 days a week for 3 hours. Then right before the show, it's 7 hours, Saturday and Sunday, and it just builds and builds until the climax of the show.
Kira?
Yes, Madden shows require a lot of hard work and dedication. And a lot of people don't know that when they come in, and when they come in, they're so surprised that we're here 3 nights a week doing this. But the feeling you get from performing on stage, I think, is what makes you come back. And the people that are new to the program, once they know that feeling, they don't want to stop doing the shows. So
Anything that we do, I think, is hard work and takes dedication. And I think the theater, Mr. Madden, jump in, is a wonderful place for students to learn about being on a schedule and hard work.
It is. And I will say to you, when we cast the summer show, and you know because you've been involved in casting so many as well, we are going to lose, if we cast 90 people, we're going to lose 10 to 15% of those people by opening night because the schedule's too overwhelming. It's more work than they expected it to be for a number of reasons.
Well, I think when you have wonderful students like Kira and Enzo on stage and people see the show, they make it look so easy.
They do make it look easy. And people always like the end game,
Right.
you know, the performance part. But the real learning, you know, that's like the cherry on the sundae. But the real learning comes with
All the preparation.
all the preparation, and people have no idea. And we could sit here and talk about it, and until you're involved in it, it takes so many hours. As I said to my wife the other night when I staggered home at 10 o'clock after a long play practice, you know, it's like having 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah. Enzo mentioned the same thing you mentioned earlier, Mr. Madden, about being on the schedule. But I want to help our viewing audience understand just a little bit more about why participating in the arts are important. Both of these students are seniors. Enzo, you're doing dual enrollment?
I just graduated with my associate's degree.
Kira,
yes, I was dual enrolled. I have 38 credits towards my.
talk to us about how you're dual enrolled, how you're graduating with an A degree before you even graduate from high school, and then manage this massive schedule.
And the other thing with Kira, and she may be too private to tell you, but I'll tell you, that she got accepted to UCF. That's not where she's going, but UCF sent her a letter and said that she was in the top 10 in the nursing program at UCF in the entire state.
Wow.
And she's going to UF, which I'll let her tell you about.
Yes.
But
Kira, jump in.
All right. Well, let's see. Where do we leave off? About the time, right? Is
Right,
that-
time
okay.
and being basically honor students is what you guys are, graduating.
They are.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and I mean, it starts from the point when you're young, but getting into Madden's program when I was a kid, I was taught a schedule, and I had to stick to the schedule, and even with cheerleading in school, you just have to find that drive to be able to do the shows, keep up with your schoolwork, because you want to be an all-around student, and it's just something that comes within, I think.
But how do you guys do, well, let me change that question. Mr. Madden, we know, and tell our viewing audience, why participating in the arts are so important to make well-rounded, academically strong students.
well, they're learning all the skills that are needed in all of their subjects at school. Public speaking. What else have you learned? I mean, tell us specifically. What did you learn to help you with your college classes?
Confidence. I know I've had
Yeah.
different presentations in some of my classes that have really gotten me
Confidence is
through.
definitely-
Preparation, putting
A work
time
ethic.
toward dedication. Yeah, I mean, if we didn't practice as much as we did, our show wouldn't be near as well. Just like if I didn't study hard enough, I might not do as well on my exams or anything like that.
I think it's really important that our viewing audience understands that all of those skills, work ethics, preparation, follow through, completing a task, all of those things are things that corporations are looking for in
Sure.
students. And when you transfer what we learn on the stage or in rehearsal, music, art, dance, drama, in rehearsal, to our academics, it makes us a stronger student. And there are many, many research items that are out there. I was reading some things twice this week already about the importance of participating in the arts and what the arts do for students. So what would you say? What would you say to entice a parent to ensure that their child participated in the arts?
I would say definitely a sense of confidence. If your child is struggling in their developing their personalities and stuff, I think putting them in the arts is going to build up their confidence. It's going to give them that schedule, and their parents are going to be pleased with the results they're seeing.
I would say even if they don't have a problem with confidence, or even if they don't have any type of, it's just something to get them going and to keep them motivated and give them a drive. I know I was always taught at a young age to keep busy. And that was always what I did, and always to challenge myself. And in Mr. Madden's program, I've always kept busy, and I've always challenged myself.
And they're
so.
surrounded by other students who have that same ethic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what so many people say when they're around our kids for a long time.
Oh,
they're great kids.
They really are. I
They're
get to come
great
in and
kids.
experience them, and they're like my kids. I know they're your kids, but they're my kids because I've seen them so much.
Well,
and
the
been around
parents never ask me. Years ago they did, but now they just know. Are these kids okay for my students to hang out with after school? They're the best kids in the school.
Yeah, yeah.
And, it's...
And you find that in the arts. You find
You
that in
do.
the arts. You find
You
it in the
do.
arts. I gotta hasten. I could talk to the three of you guys all day, and I already talk fast, so I better slow down. But if we don't hasten, we won't get to Seussical the musical. So, Kira, let's start with you. Tell us about your character. First of all, our viewing audience, again, Seussical the musical is based on the works of Dr. Seuss. It's a fun show musical for the entire family. You will thoroughly enjoy seeing Seussical the musical with the entire family. But Kira, tell us about your role in the musical.
Okay, I play Gertrude McFuzz, and she's the shy bird compared to another character, Maisie. And Gertrude is constantly striving to get the attention of Horton the elephant, and she even goes to the length of extending her tail, getting some work done, so that she can have a longer tail and impress Horton. And that's what her goal is to fall in love and get Horton to notice her at the end of the show.
Cool. Enzo, your character?
I play the Cat in the Hat in Seussical the musical, and he is a mischievous, kind of crazy, whimsical narrator of the show. And he talks about Horton, and he talks about Gertrude, and he talks about the different characters, and he orchestrates things too. You'll see him as many different characters throughout the show, and he orchestrates the show and the storyline too.
Mr. Madden, when you're casting a musical, what do you look for in the students?
It's gotten a lot more intense. We have students that show up now in costume. They bring in props sometimes to help them. And, some other kids will come up to me and they'll say, does this mean I'm not going to get the part because I didn't dress up? No, you look for a passion. And you can tell who's rehearsed, who takes it seriously. People always... There's winners and losers at audition time.
Everybody doesn't make
everybody doesn't always make the team. And everybody in this society now, they always look for somebody to blame. And I always say that if you're mad about the casting, you can be mad at me. It's okay. But you've sat in on castings as well. It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, the cream rises to the top.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It's really surprisingly easy. Maybe when we get down to the final two for a part, then there's some give and take. But we have them read or sing long enough that by the time we leave there's no discrepancy in who deserves the part.
Kira, Enzo, tell us what else we're going to see in Seussical the musical. What other characters?
You're going to see a lot of stuff. In the center, I'm sure Kira could even talk more, but in the 7 shows that I've done, this is a show where I know I've been given a lot more leeway with ad-libs and with improvisation. Mm-hmm. And I know, it's just a show. It's almost a show. I don't want to say like it's going to be perfect, but it can't be. There's really not a wrong way to do certain things. It's a lot of space and a lot of free will, and it's really fun. I've had a really fun time.
And the music is timely and fun. It's if you don't like traditional musical theater, you probably will like this.
Kira, anything?
I like to describe it as pretty much all of Dr. Seuss's books combined together. I mean, you're going to see The Grinch, Cindy Lou Who, all the characters that children and family know. So it's really going to be a fun show.
Okay. For our viewing audience, I know everybody's out there has been to a show at Port St. Lucie High School. If you're not, you're really missing a treat. But just in case they haven't, tell us those show dates again and where we can get tickets from.
The show opens on Wednesday, June 17th. And you can come on a weeknight because there's no school. We open June 17th. We run Wednesday night at 7:30, Thursday at 7:30, Friday at 7:30, and then the 20th at 2 and 7:30. That's a Saturday. And Sunday, the 21st, at 2 and 7 p.m.
Okay. I have a couple more questions that I want to get in the time that we have. So I'm going to ask you to keep your answers brief.
Okay.
Mr. Madden, as a director, Kira and Enzo as students, what is it that motivates you to go back to the stage? What is it that motivates you, Mr. Madden, to continue to push forward?
Seeing the kids excel, and because as I get older, the hours it gets harder, but seeing them excel and feel great about their finished product, that's what keeps me going.
Kira?
The feeling that I get when I'm on stage is what keeps me going back. The adrenaline I have before going on, and then just hearing the audience clap and cheer for everyone on stage.
Enzo?
Yeah, I would agree with Kira. Also, that it's a challenge. I mean, I've never been in one show where I don't think I've been challenged, and I have to work, and I enjoy that.
Wow. Kira, Enzo, what's your favorite musical and why? It could be Seussical.
I think my favorite musical that we've done is probably Hairspray, and then favorite musical I've seen is probably Bonnie and Clyde.
My favorite musical we've done is also Hairspray. My first show. I had a great time. And I've said this to you before. Memphis, when we saw it a year ago, was probably the best show I've ever seen.
Great. My favorite show is Hairspray as well. I love the backstory to it. So, here we go again. We are so excited to present to St. Lucie County.
I can't wait for everybody to come.
19 years and the shows are still going strong.
That's right, and we're still here, Mr. Perry.
Yes,
That's really incredible.
And we have fantastic students that I get to know and love, like Kira Anderson and Enzo Everett, and it's just been a joy watching you guys grow all of these years and seeing the different roles that you bring to life. And I'm sure that our viewing audience is going to love Seussical the musical. We told them the show dates, Mr. Madden, but we did not tell them where they could purchase tickets again.
Yeah, tickets are $15, and they're available at Joy's Ice Cream in Fort Pierce and Port St. Lucie, the Tin Fish Port St. Lucie, Jay's Fine Jewelry in St. Lucie West, Honey Baked Ham in Stewart, and the Port St. Lucie High School office, and Perkins on US 1, right in the heart of Port St. Lucie.
19 years of the Summer Musical Theater Project here in St. Lucie Public Schools. Fantastic students, Kira Anderson, Enzo Everett. Thank you for joining us and being a part of the Spotlight again. We want our viewing audience to make sure that you go to see Seussical the Musical when it premieres in June 17th.
At Port St. Lucie
High School. You're in for a fantastic show. That's it for another edition of the Spotlight here, where we turn the spotlight on the arts. We thank you for viewing. We'll see you next month.